Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in the Chronicles of Darkness, Vampire Requiem, a Requiem for London. Tonight, our scene does not take place within the evening when the moon is high in the sky, when kindred are out and about. No, it takes place during the day when parents are taking their children to school. Everybody is going to work, doing the shopping and getting a bite to eat. London is full of life and the living, vibrant with activity. A sight that few kindred will ever see again. But some are perhaps about to see the worst sides of. Julian and Marcus, you are staying within Julian's ancestral haven within Lambeth. Would you like to describe what the place looks like, Julian? How large is your haven? What's everything like inside?
It is a older home, jumping the times of the 1930s and 40s. Nowhere near the size of a mansion or anything of that nature. It's taller than it is wide, but it does support a modest plot of land and even a small guest house. It has three floors. One base, it has two floors and a basement. The architecture represents basically a mixture of old rustic taste with practicality. The house is made out of stone, and all the windows have proper window seals of wood. There are a few, if you look at certain corners of the building, um, small white devices, most likely cameras. Or maybe just those good old security lights. It's hard to tell.
Mm. Well then. And where are you two sleeping within the house?
Julian would be in the upper floor's master bedroom. The windows closed, seals closed, and a bed that's too big for him for at least one person. And he sits there, not in any type of, let's say, regal position. It's just him under the covers, oddly enough, in sleep clothes, just looking like outside of physically being dead, looking like he's just sleeping there.
Sorry, this was the bedroom?
Hmm? Oh, no, this is how he's sleeping. The actual bedroom, it
Ah,
is, if you want me to describe that,
no, I was just asking for the room.
yeah, no. Second said top floor, master bedroom. He's sleeping in there.
Yeah. All right. And Marcus.
Marcus, especially after having seen the news and let's just say feeling a bit jumpy, decided that he'd actually stay awake. So, as the morning was coming and the normal morning tiredness was just starting to kick in, he spent the point of blood, let the vitae flow through his body with a certain efficiency, and an experience that his studies with the Ordre du Corps has allowed him. With relative ease, he conquers the tiredness that normally overtakes Kindred, the vitae pumping through his body, a slow but regular heartbeat going, the flesh nice and flush with life, or at least the simulacra thereof. And while his friend is getting some well-deserved rest, he has drawn the curtains. It's almost completely dark, apart from the odd light ticked in there. And currently, he's watching a bit of television. It isn't every day, quite literally, that he gets to see the actual program. Normally, he has to do with the internet and is enjoying a Good Morning Britain program, and it's waking memories for him. So he's just enjoying this feeling of almost domestic bliss and the non-expectation of any kindred showing up.
As you continue your morning, nothing appears to be particularly out of the ordinary. At least not initially. You watch your TV, you go on the internet, you pass the time. Being awake for a whole day kind of dawns on you just how long a day is. There's not actually that much to do to encompass 24 hours, at least when you can't go outside. It's about noon, with the sun at its zenith. You hear a loud knock on the door. 3 large knocks.
Marcus takes notice, goes up. On his way there, he says, "Come in," and will spy through the spyglass to see you.
When they knock the door, they say, "This is the police, please open the door."
Have you... may I have a name? "I'm the housekeeper," he says through the door.
"This is the police. We have a search warrant for this building. Please open the door now." If you do not comply, we will be forced to enter forcefully.
Mm-hmm. Marcus has a quick look through the spyglass. I'll do a dexterity roll for the speed if you want. Just want a quick look and close again.
It's no problem. You see several police officers, most are wearing visors. There is one with a police battering ram to knock down the door, an enforcer I believe it's called. Yeah, it's an enforcer.
British police officers are hardcore, then I guess that they feel like I'm already a threat. Like,
They are heavily armed.
that's awkward.
Sorry, heavily armored. They have the helmets of visors, padded vests, and padded clothes all the way from top to bottom. It's kind of hard to get a better view of them through the glass, but that's about what you see. They certainly do not appear to be lying.
No.
There is someone in plain clothes by the police van. But he appears to be overlooking a situation either as a bystander, a journalist, or a plainclothes detective. There's quite a few of them. There's a full squad.
Has any of them got the search warrant in their hand? From what Marcus could see.
You don't immediately see it on that person.
Quick refresher as far wait. Yeah. When it comes to British law, can a person demand the search warrant before opening the door? Or is that only something like in America?
Let's double check.
Yeah, because I'm surprised. It's like typically if they already got basically SWAT gear on, they don't typically ask. They just come in.
I know. I'm just checking.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about that. That's why I was like, man, British police officers are hardcore. Because once you get to this stage, typically they quit asking questions in America. Because it's typically you have the nice people come in first. Because if you have the big people come in first, typically people get scared, even if they're innocent and not gonna open the door. That's why you typically have the regular people come in first. They open the door, they ask people questions, they search the house, they go home. But if they resist, then the people that are in the spyglass range come in, break down the door, and go, "Hey, we have a search warrant." So that's why I'm concerned. It's like, because typically at this time it means they think I am very much dangerous. Because it's not just simply making sure that I wasn't involved.
Just I'm not getting any answers on your question, which is unfortunate.
How America does it, they do need to present it. Obviously, if they want to be nice about it, people can read it. But I said, in my opinion, if they already have the people ready to break down the door, they're not going to be nice about it.
No, they'll probably present it after or upon entry.
And I cannot tell you what to do, unfortunately, Marcus. I am very much asleep. Player can tell you stuff.
So, It's American rules. You may ask. I will say you have. You may ask to see the warrant. Yes.
Okay. Marcus will go. Sorry, guys. Could you quickly give me the warrant through the letter slit? Just need to check. If I don't do it properly, my boss will be really, really angry with me.
You see the man through the looking glass. He turns away. Kind of difficult to make out his face in his visor. You're looking through multiple glasses, effectively. But he turns to the person in plain clothes who walks up to the door. Hello, sir. I am Inspector Bradley. You said you were looking for you wish to see the search warrant?
Yes, just to check that the paperwork is fine. After that, I'm more than happy to help.
No problem. He just takes the search warrant out of his jacket and places it inside the letterbox. When you have a look at it,
Yep.
It is a legitimate search warrant.
Oh crap! As Marcus is having a fly over the search warrant, he's signaling to Rusty, his dog, to go to Julian. Try and wake him up. Oh wait, could I? Sorry, I would like to use animalism and tell Rusty to go up and try and wake up Julian.
He's your touchstone, so I'll say you can do that without a roll.
Thank you.
He barks at you happily, and immediately begins to head up the stairs to where Julian is. Sir, could you open the door, please?
Yep. Sure. Marcus says, the other man, not seeing that he's shrugging somewhat resignedly as he opens the door, and also, here you go, sir. Hands him the search warrant back.
Oof. What is your blood potency and your humanity?
Blood potency 2, humanity 7. That's why I asked if the scene was before or after downtime. Anyway.
Okay, so. It's. Okay, this isn't too bad for you. As the door opens, you are blasted with the fullness of the sun at its height. Although you are well suited towards resisting the sun and the urges that it creates within the beast, the desperate fear to run away, to flee, it is nonetheless very painful. You will take 1 lethal damage over the next 10 minutes. It is not immediate, but you will need to get out of the sun quickly. Otherwise, the police may notice you begin to burn.
Yep. Marcus opens up the door, lets the guy come in, and tries to position himself back into the shadows, trying his best not to grimace too much, but lethal is lethal and pain is pain, so he does pull a face as he gets back into the shadows, muttering something about, sorry, my goddamn xenoderma pigmentosum is playing up. Sorry, I'm a bit sensitive.
It's not too easy to find shadows for the moment. Most of the curtains are closed and the windows are sealed. The police will begin to enter the building. The detective will guide you on over to, we'll actually ask you to step outside while the building is searched.
Currently, only he is. Good. Okay, so currently he is. Have I got eye contact with the guy?
It's, keep in mind, he does have company with him and around him.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. I don't guess I'm at the level yet where I can do it subtly.
Well, that depends on what you wish to say to him and what level of dominate you are using.
Well, since this is pre-scene, I've only got the first level.
Then you can. You commit an intelligence plus expression plus dominate check versus his resolve.
And I'll spend a willpower.
Keep track of how much willpower you have, as it does not regenerate over the course of days. It only regenerates when you spend for your mask and your dirge. Just a reminder.
No problem.
Your command cannot be longer than 3 or 4 words, and it needs to be direct. So it cannot be a long, complicated statement. It has to be within 3 or 4 words.
Okay, after I do the roll, the command would be, please let me stay.
Okay.
Okay, time to do the roll. Five successes.
You definitely get it. That's also an exceptional success.
Yes, it is. I've got a 10, I've got a 7, I've got another 10, 6.
So you can issue a command to them instantly, which you do. So he looks at you, looks a bit fuzzy for a moment, and kind of shakes his head. And he says, sure, just take a seat over there. Jessica Stanley, do you mind looking after this gentleman while we search the premises? Thank you.
Marcus will comply and try to seat himself in the shadiest place possible.
Outside of electrical light, there's not much sunlight in this place, if any. So on the top floor, oddly enough, typically the surrounding of the worlds don't get his attention, but Marcus Julian seems to respond to a scratching noise at his door, and it's kind of weird because he's never really woken up in the day, so it's like that groggy feeling when you wake up, but much more oppressive. It doesn't start disappearing. It kind of hangs on him. And he tightens up his robe a bit and walks over to the door and notices that it's Rusty. And he kind of looks at him oddly, like he doesn't do this normally.
No. The next thing you hear after Rusty barking at you quite urgently,
Which I can't understand
Is
him,
this-
so if he's saying anything specific.
if you're using animalism to communicate with him,
Yeah,
he
I am
says,
Muslim, so.
Master wanted me to get you. The enforcers are here.
And he rubs at his face in frustration, and if it matters, try to wake the sleep out of his eyes.
You can hear people going through each room, and as they each go into the room, you can hear them going, "This is the police. This is the police," and going through standard procedures. They seem to spread throughout the building. You can hear some coming up the stairs.
Yeah. Julian's voice will kind of ring out harsh, and if it wasn't thinking that maybe he just woke up because it's not an unknown thing that he's night shift, his voice sounds almost inhuman and goes, "One moment." Yeah, may I make another humanity roll? I'll try to wake myself up.
Would you say that one moment would be audible down to the ground floor?
Yeah, because he's hearing people below him, so he's trying to make sure everybody can hear him. Would sound perfectly normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Marcus will just say, "Good morning, sir. Sorry, the gentleman of the police came."
Oh,
Or is he forbidden to say anything?
sorry. Where is Marcus left his seat?
No, he's kept his seat.
Okay, where is Julian going?
No, Julian's up on his top floor, and he opened the door, and Rusty talked to him. And when the police said, "Hey, this police is searching," Julian's voice came out like, "All right, give me a moment, I'm coming down."
Okay, sorry. My apologies, I misheard.
Yeah. And I was asking, may I make another humanity roll and see if I can put on my morning face?
Yep.
You can do it. I believe in you.
And hopefully this will not be like my Ride the Wave roll, where I just need a warm success and it took 5 minutes to get.
It took much longer than that.
That was horrendous. Yeah, all right. Then a moment of mental focus and a point of blood to put on that blush of life. Julian's eyes open to the typical, not the fully, but for the most part, as he would be in the night. His body is flushed with life, simulating that of the mortals, and he begins rubbing at his eyes as he begins walking down the stairs. And he'll just kind of say, "I'm assuming my help solve the search warrant."
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir, my name is Inspector Bradley. We possess a search warrant right here. In addition, you're also under arrest for suspicion of murder and conspiracy to murder. And he begins reading you your Miranda rights.
And he responds under what pretenses, as he goes down the stairs where you can see him, but he stays like on the top floor, but he sits down.
Mm-hmm.
As he probably sees a few of the heavily armed people move around. It's like, I would think you would lead the armed guards at the door if I struggled. There is no struggle right now. I am offended.
The man doesn't really answer you other than to say, "Sir, with respect, we care very little for your offence."
But I do need to you've read me my charges. You haven't given me a reason why I'm charged. What proof do you have?
Other than the security footage of you dragging a bloodied body away into the night, where there was a violent scene at the Royal Albert Hall, plenty more.
You have any other motivation that would say that I would attack my own family? Because I don't hear anything about that.
Sir, you have a right to an attorney. I would suggest you call one.
I will.
As it stands, we have more than enough evidence to arrest you at this point in time.
Yes, he looks at the man. And this couldn't happen at night when I had my game face properly on, as he kind of crinks his neck.
He takes note of that. He actually begins taking notes of everything you're saying. You will be cuffed. Front to back.
When he begins to cuff me, Julian
That's one of the police officers. He's accompanying him. Will cuff you.
Yeah, when he attempts to cuff me, he's not gonna move or anything. His eyes are just gonna meet this man's eyes, and he is going to lash out with the monstrous beast to kind of basically convince him you don't want to do that.
Okay. Make a roll. Strength plus blood potency.
And I am curious, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't because it says vigor doesn't affect this roll. I can't spin for physical intensity to make this easier.
No, you can't. You can't spend blood to make lashing out more easy.
Okay, that's what I thought. And I can't go right away because that's too obvious of my nature. So I have to do this the old-fashioned way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's 2 successes.
Okay. 1 second, I just need to double check to see if they can actually resist at all.
I believe they actually can. I know vampires have an easier time, obviously.
Yes, because Kindred get blood potency, and Supernaturals get their power stat. Okay, so how do you go about lashing out initially? You need to take some sort of action that represents the aspect of a predator that you're using.
It's mainly the body language and the eye contact. Even for a moment, as this man beats my eyes, he swears, "My eyes are not human for a moment. They look more like a mixture of a bear's and a wolf, and possibly an eagle all at once, representing the protean nature of a gangrel, but just for a moment."
Okay. I'll just have them So, you lash out at them. You growl at them. You look threatening. And the guy holding the handcuffs who cuffs you drops them for a moment and swears. Ah, fuck. Inspector Bradley just goes, Jesus Christ, and just grabs the handcuffs and will just cuff you himself.
And when the inspector tries to do it, he looks over to him and he says, "Did you read me all my rights? I'd rather not be cuffed before this is all verbatim. It is all done kosher."
As I've said, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you as he cuffs you. That is the second time I have read your Miranda rights. I would urge you to use your ears and listen, sir.
Out of character, could Marcus do an intelligence and maybe politics or streetwise roll to figure out if at this point, especially after what they've said, if Marcus tries to give Julian an alibi, if that would help at all or just make things worse?
It wouldn't mean much right now, to be honest.
Gotcha.
Right now, I need to think because once I'm outside, I am super going to start frying. The main thing is I need to try to delay these guys, which unfortunately I don't know any law reasons why they could delay my arrest at a different time. At best, I could scare these guys all off, but I don't necessarily want to do that. But I might do what I have to do, so it's just tick tock, tick tock.
It's also inconsistent. You don't have Majesty or Nightmare.
No.
You could institute. Some of them might get scared, others might get violent and fight, others might just continue what they're doing, but more quickly.
Yeah, it's the thing. I could try to intimidate these guys, but they got intimidation is going to make them feel uncomfortable around me. They're not going to stop what they're doing.
Some of the officers are actually looking to start unsealing the windows. They're actually got out torches because it is very dark in here after all. It's meant to protect you from the sunlight.
There's lamps and stuff that are on, but there's no natural light in the place.
Yeah, they're letting in some natural light now. You're not in its way, but you can see the rays of the sunlight through the door, through the living room. Fortunately, they're not directly in the line of Marcus. He's in a chair in the corner, but it's literally a line directly in front of him. You would only need to take 3 or 4 steps, and he would be standing in burning sunlight.
That's it. As is true, as awkward as Purgatory or especially the Munch Street is, that's what I got. That's what. Only else I could think of, because competitive beast is not going to help me. All they're going to do is they're going to start forcing themselves to use willpower to do what they do, and I don't want them to do that unless they force themselves not to. This is a highly contested situation, so they have no reason to try to basically lays off their thing. So I guess I have to keep doing what I'm doing. But I don't want to struggle too much, because then they're just going to try to drag me out, and I definitely don't want to do that. But that's why it's called decisions. Because even if I had Program 1 and just hid here, they would just grab you, Marcus, and go in for questioning. You could technically make it, but I wouldn't put you through that.
So,
So
at this point, some of the officers are going through the building. They're searching the building and taking evidence. And 2 of the police, as well as Inspector Bradley, are going to escort you into a police vehicle. Now, obviously, that is in the middle of your, it is literally
outside.
outside,
Yes,
front yard.
front yard, outside, front yard. God's glory all over the place. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to predatory beast him away too, and hope that he's. I'll hope that he's a coward, but he's more about getting away from the situation. If not, he'll just try to beat me to death. The guy that I hit with my predatory right now, he technically has a bestial condition right now,
Yes.
so I could technically scare him off if I just gave him a stern look, or he'll beat the crap out of me again, depending on his nature. But this is what I got.
So, they are escorting you out of the building. Is there anything you'd like to do, Marcus? Right now, they are just questioning you.
Another thought I had was at least make the comment, please put a jacket over him. He's got the same illness I have. It can cause shutdown of the nervous system if he gets too much UV light direct. It's worth a shot.
Make me a wits plus subterfuge check. Now, given that they are effectively interrogating you, this will be a contested check as opposed to a passive resisted one.
Okay, for the love of God, I'm burning another willpower.
Either wits or manipulation, whichever's your highest pool.
Let me have a look. And the answer is wits 2, and the other one was?
It's either wits or manipulation plus
both are
subterfuge.
2, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'll say manipulation, and what is the other thing?
Subterfuge. You could also use manipulation medicine if that's your higher pool.
I actually have subterfuge 2, while medicine... I have medicine 0, so I'm using subterfuge 2.
More about spelling a
I've got
tell
science 1 if... no, that's a medical condition. Never mind.
Just trying to overwhelm them with jargon as opposed to actually give a logical explanation that isn't actually true.
I was trying to base it on something that actually exists, but
Without medicine 0, can't think of anything.
That's true. That's true. So he's just sort of mashing something together he probably once saw ages ago on some program, vaguely. Anyway, willpower spent, and let's do the roll, and Tempest be with me. Oh, gods.
Unfortunate.
He talks like a dairy farmer. Yeah.
Izuko, I roll the monstrous beast against the inspector. Because also, they're dragging me out in a robe and everything. I actually do have the right to be properly dressed.
Not in the UK, you don't.
I think they can actually just take it up with a robe. I don't think they actually need to wait for you to get into like a costume, as long as you're halfway decent.
Yeah. As long as you're publicly decently, and it's like, heck, I'm coming with you, but I want my clothes.
To be fair, Inspector Bradley will actually have one of the officers get you one of a set of clothes from your wardrobe. But he doesn't he and 2 of the police officers are escorting you out of the building at this point.
I got to do it. I need to do something. I need to do something. At least these bestial conditions will last for a while, and I can maybe do something about it. But I got to soften these guys up, Fred. gonna be super fucked. So that's another 2.
All right. So you are attempting to lash out at who?
At the inspector.
Okay. What was your successes?
I had 2.
The fuck? Okay. Um. Okay. Your lashing out begins to have an immediate impact. How are you trying to... Again, you need to do something to lash out, like growl or take some sort of action. Not violent.
No, it's more like once I get near the light, it's almost one of those moments of I kind of lost track of my beast because it's kind of awake and very aware because we're not supposed to be awake right now. So when I was getting near the light, there's a very deep, it's an inhuman growl that comes from Julian's throat.
Okay. V. He takes his hands off you. The other police officer doesn't. And he just says, get him in the car, get him in the car. And he begins to walk off rather haphazardly back into the building. He's trying to keep his composure, but he's clearly shaken by something.
Yeah. And when that response happens, and the other police officer, and this is not the same police officer that I growled at earlier, right? The other one dragging me. Yeah. He doesn't do anything, like, is he finally tugging me or just kind of guiding me out?
He's just guiding. He's got his hand on your wrists where the handcuffs are, and he's got his hand on your shoulders as well. He's got a pretty firm grip on you.
Okay, so, all right, he's not being too rude, so I'm not going to be that mean to the guy. But before Julian gets outside the door, he's going to say, can I please seal this up, please? Please. Wow, redundancy there. As he kind of mixture of that. None of the sunlight, and unfortunately just his eyes can see as they start to burn.
The officer doesn't really respond to your request positively. He just says, it's fine, just get in the car, mind your head.
Alrighty. I'm going to start spitting blood for resilience to try to resist the sunlight.
Resilience cannot resist sunlight.
Oh, is it just fire? I thought I could do a little bit of sunlight.
Nope. Resilience, it is the only thing resilience cannot defend against. Resilience can defend against fire. It cannot defend against the sun.
Yeah, sunlight still remains beyond the power of resilience to defend against. God damn it. God damn it.
The burning is not immediate. It takes... Your blood potency is low, and your humanity is still fair. So it is not as immediate as it would be for an older, more potent kindred.
Exactly.
But I know my
Sorry.
beast is not happy, and I can control it, but I can't not look like a beast even when I control it.
So
That's
you begin to take 2 lethal damage over the next 10 minutes. Because I believe your humanity is 6, isn't it?
no, it's 7. I got it back up. Remember?
Oh, you got it back up. That's right. Yeah. So only 1 lethal. However, yes, your beast is terrified, and I'm going to need you to make an immediate frenzy check.
I'm just gonna ride the wave.
Ride the wave.
That's all I got. I said I could ride the wave, make sure they can't see my obvious fangs, and change condition. I'm gonna still try to resist it, obviously.
What is the goal that you want to give your beast? This is important because this is what enables you to direct the frenzy at all.
That's the thing. It's like, because that's the curious part. The level 1 power, I do guide it, but it does say, then again, that still is guiding it. Yes, it does say you could do this reflexively, even if you from any frenzy. So that still is giving it a thing. It's not just me controlling it.
You need to give beast a goal. It is necessary to both riding the wave and stirring the frenzy.
Okay. Me and myself are on relatively good terms. I know myself wants to run, and wants to run really, really, really badly. But me knows cannot run, we will die, and will cause even further suspicion. So I will tell myself, compose yourself.
You can't tell it to do that. The beast is the complete opposite of composure. That is the man.
That is the man. The only thing I could think of would be kind of quote unquote if I want to do a beast from stock, wait, patience. But as you said, that is not as it can do that, but doesn't what it wants to do.
You could tell it to get out of the sun. In fact, it would probably do that of its own accord.
Yeah, but it's gonna get out of the sun violently. It's gonna try to run back into the house. Or
It would.
to a dark spot.
So you could, if you ride the wave,
The guest house.
You would be able to lead it. You would be able to lead it to another destination.
So the big thing I would think of, I don't know what police station it is, but I could tell it, get to police. Said wait till police station, but I don't even know which one we're going to. I'd have to know.
You don't know what police station you're going to, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You would think.
Yes. If they were taking me to the hospital, because I'm surprised nobody's trying to take me to the hospital, make sure she's okay. But obviously they think of me as a suspect, so that's a thing. So I guess.
Do you have Blush of Life active, by the way?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you spent 2 blood points. Good to know.
I only cost 1.
It costs 1 blood weight to wake at all.
Oh, okay.
Everything you wake up costs a blood point, even if it's premature.
Yeah, that's true. No. Now I remember you say you don't want you didn't spend the blood point. Like, okay, that's like sweet. I was like, okay, and yeah, I did spend 2, so it is. I guess can I ask where they're taking me? That way I can give myself a goal.
You need to make the frenzy check first.
Okay. All right. Now
you will be asking them literally as you are outside, so you won't have the time to ask the question at this point.
Yeah. And I am not technically riding the wave right now. I'm just making a composure roll.
If you want to resist frenzy, yes, you are taking lethal damage from sunlight, so you suffer a -1 dice penalty.
Okay.
Again, it is easier for you to resist as you are young.
All right. Yep. Because my willpower is resolve plus composure. -1 is 5. So I'm not riding the wave, so I don't get bonus dice. And I will spend a willpower if that's all right.
That will give you a turn to fight off a frenzy and give you 1 additional dice.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, you have that coil, don't you?
Yeah, I have that coil.
That's
for me riding the wave. That's it. If resisting and riding the wave are 2 different things, that's what I want to make
yes, that's for riding the wave. Yes, so unfortunately, you are resisting frenzy, not riding the wave. So it's just a standard bonus. Okay. Unfortunately.
All right, so only the +1, not the +3.
Just a +1 dice and a turn of lucidity to go with it.
Okay. All right. And this won't matter maybe now or later, but yeah, Too late. I didn't ask one in, so I'm not gonna worry about it right now. All right, here I go. Oh no.
Oh dear. Marcus, as soon as they walk Julian out of the door, you hear a very familiar growl and roar.
Ah, fuck.
As Julian falls into fear frenzy.
You were with me so good earlier. What happened to you, dice roller? Why'd you put me in this false sense of security?
Why hast thou forsaken me, dice roller?
Your beast panics. Whatever you have to say to it, it doesn't care anymore. All it can see is the sun, and nothing you can say soothes the baleful touch of the sun. Your beast wants to get out of the sun and will use every means necessary. Any means necessary, and every tool at its disposal in order to do so. So, you'll begin to sprout claws. And you're going to try and break free of this grapple. Once you have dealt with your captor, I'll allow you to choose the direction you take your beast in, as its primary goal is to get out of the sunlight.
Alrighty.
So,
and the idea I'm trying to break out the grapple. That's strength plus brawl.
You're wielding the strength of the beast, so I'm actually more than happy to just say you break free of the grapple. This person is completely unprepared for you to lash out in such a fashion.
Yeah.
They certainly weren't prepared when your nails started to grow long and sharp.
I'd say if I was right of the way, they'd be even worse. I'm stronger when I do that. So the idea is...
Oh no, you don't have... Actually, no, the beast does claws, so you're not getting protein claws.
No, I don't have protein. So it's more just the long fingernails, fangs released.
Oh, your fangs definitely come out.
You know, bestial, I said, effects. But no, I don't have all the protein nature.
So...
But
roll me strength plus brawl.
I definitely could say this. The people that have the bestial condition, they're going to be fucking afraid of me and want to leave.
Oh, they're going to be terrified of you. One of them's already walked away.
That was the main point of doing that. Is like if I could just scare them off, then I could leave the house and unfortunately be on the run. All right, that's roll. Brawl is 4, and my strength is 4, so that should be 8 dice. Let's be for sure. We don't need to guess.
His defense is 2.
I believe it's a contested check, so...
No, it's just strength plus brawl. You're trying to hit him. I've already said you've broken out of grapple.
Okay. Then actually, if I'm already out, then why would I even interact with him? I just want to get out of the light. But that's up to you. So.
Yeah, but the thing is that this guy's between you and getting out of the light.
Okay. No.
They're actively trying to stop you.
Okay. Nah. Yeah. All right. We'll make dice. Yeah. My strength is now 4. Hey, my stamina's up. So yay. Yep. And my brawl is 4. So yeah. 3 successes.
Okay. with the preternatural speed of a beast, you immediately grab him and tear out his throat with your fangs.
Do I
His
get
blood begins to gush over the floor, but you gain a blood point.
Yay. Oh, wanted now. Mhm.
Marcus, you hear all of this happening. You're free to act. As this happens.
Mm-hmm. What is the situation in the room where he is? Are there still policemen, or have they left the room?
You have shown no resistance. You're
been nice and cooperative.
Yeah, they saw through your lie and they actually kind of politely mocked you about it. They had a joke at your expense about it, but
that's okay. That's okay. Rather they laugh than have him walk out in handcuffs.
They didn't take it too seriously. They seem
Good.
to be putting it down to nerves. They give you a second chance to correct your story. But as they're doing that, the sounds that are being made out there are unmistakable. There is now the sound of violence, and with your blood, with your predatory senses, you can smell that blood is being spilled.
Well, sit tight and not be official. Only have one person officially on the run. Maybe be able to do a telephone call or other things later, or get mixed in. And I think if anything, Marcus would just turn and look and spend a willpower and well, to be fair, if that can even be called performing, it is more like he sees what's happening and it is horrific. So if anything, he's just making an absolutely shocked face. You know what?
Okay.
Screw it. I'll do an expression roll and spend a willpower, leaving me with 2 willpower, if that's okay.
Okay, what are you trying to do with your willpower?
Just to make the expression of shock and horror more believable.
Oh, that's fine. You don't need to spend willpower for that. It's quite horrifying all of it.
Oh, good. My humanity is high enough that it genuinely horrifies me. Good. He won't be saying anything. He'll just with wide eyes and have a horrified expression, grabbing. Yep.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Grabbing the sides of the chairs that he was just in there as if bracing himself, which, to be fair, he is doing. And just says nothing as he looks at the horrible scenario going its sad course, but deciding not to move.
The 2 police officers who sort of go to look because this is clearly not right, and immediately go to inspect it, upon hearing one of their comrades scream out in pain. Bring out their stun guns. And we'll begin to shoot at Julian.
Well, I guess I have to be in my way the path back to upstairs.
If that is where you decide your beast wants to go, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Oh, they miss. Or rather, they hit you, but you were undead. Your beast doesn't care about pulses of electricity running through a corpse. If it were toying with these people, it might even be amused. But no. Roll me strength roll again as you attempt to rip this guy apart and move back into the house.
Guess should have rode. Oh, even a the rate cut, I'll still roll to 0. You don't know. Let's hope it's gonna work out. That is the name of the game.
Marcus, you saw the detective whom Julian had intimidated running up the stairs. And more police officers begin to make their way down the main hall over the porch into the main fray because this is... They also noticed the noise, and there's about... There's a team of about 8 to 9 of them. As far as they were concerned, they were going to raid the home of a suspected murderer. And it looks like they were right to take precautions. Okay.
As much as Marcus would love to get into the fray, he's working off the logic that if he can stay unarrested, he can potentially at least rally help for Julian.
That's fine.
So,
Julian, of course, will be completely unaware of your motivations until, well, he is told.
I know. It's shitty, but yeah.
Dang it. You know what we could have done? We could have tried to just dump it all. It would have taken a long time. Should have bought you more time. That was my bad.
Julian, you ripped this man to shreds, draining him and tossing his body aside as you run back into the house into a small wall of police officers. Marcus.
Yes?
You see one on their radio hit the panic button.
If my character knows something I don't know out of character, please tell me.
Reinforcements.
Let's see. What's your stats? Academics. I will say your investigation is helpful here.
Yep.
Yeah, police have panic buttons in regards to when a police's life is considered under immediate threat. Those buttons are pressed to basically send out a signal to basically every cop in the area.
Okay, gotcha. Is he isolated from the rest of his mates?
The detective?
The guy who is about to press the panic button.
No, he's with them. They're not looking at you. They're charging towards the door. But yeah, it actually makes like when he presses the button, it is an alarm. So like you can actually hear the alarm.
And that has already happened. Okay.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's literally, it's on their radio and they just press it. It's a very quick action.
Good point. Out of character, Glenn, in for a penny, in for a pound?
No, if I could, I wouldn't have killed anybody. It's best that you stay innocent at this point.
Okay, I just wanted your opinion on the thing before I...
No, I've said I still could have gotten unlucky even if I rode the wave. But now I feel like, man, I probably should just spit our throat away. Look like a
To be
monster.
fair-
Not have any corpses.
I feel like Julian's opinion is quite obvious right now.
Yeah. Marcus is sitting tight for this round. He'll keep an eye on the policemen, on the investigators. If he sees any of them isolated or like closer to him, then he might try to do a dominate move. But until that's the case, he's sitting tight.
The investigator has run up the stairs. He is completely separate from the rest of the group. So you can go to him if you like, because he appears to be fleeing in panic.
Well,
in which direction is he fleeing? Into the house or away from the house?
Up the stairs to the master bedroom. While that's going on, Julian, make me a strength plus brawl check. If you have specialty in grappling, it will apply because that's what the police are going to try and do to you.
I have a specialty in biting.
I'm actually just going to say for each one they get bonus dice. About 5 or 6 of them can be on only one time, so they're rolling a lot of dice.
I am curious when I could try to take control of this frenzy, but I know the beast is very scared, so he's probably not going to listen to me.
At this point, you've fallen to frenzy. You won't be able to come out until you've accomplished your goal.
Okay. Only 2 this time.
Okay.
Oh, that's a valid point. Should I be using my physical intensity?
Yes, you will be using your physical intensity to increase your strength.
Alright then, I'll roll 2 more dice. I should have thought about like, oh yeah, I'm in frenzy, so I'm using everything I can. Didn't think about it. Alright, yeah, I still do.
Yeah. A shame I can only mesmerize one person in a go.
We're not that old.
It's the limitation of Dominate, I'm afraid. Although
No. It's fine. It's fine. It's fair. If not, it would be completely ridiculous.
There are devotions, of course, which can maybe change that.
Be vigor for that.
Later.
Yeah, okay. We're young. This eventually happens to every young kindred. One of the most cautious ones this doesn't happen to.
Yeah. Okay. So that's going on. Marcus will try to dominate the guy who is properly separated from his group and just say, run away here, and pointing out the door.
Okay, that will happen about half a minute from now because he's a fair distance from you. And he's running into the room and he literally begins to curl up into a ball. But you'll be able to dominate him. Make the roll now, so when it happens, we have a result.
Oh no! Damn it! If only I could talk.
The police literally dogpile you. You're immediately thrust to the ground. Would you like to roll a strength plus roll again to control the grapple?
Yes. And I'm down to 8 blood since apparently I drained some of that dry.
Yeah. You didn't drain him dry, you took 2 blood points from him.
Okay, then I'm at 5.
Okay, well, you do break free of their grapple.
Hey, roll.
That's
Marcus.
Oh, that's Marcus, sorry. Whoops.
5 successes, and there is a 10 in there.
Oh, unfortunately, Julian, you do break free of the grapple. As you battle and flail and writhe amidst the burning sunlight, these police officers manage to expertly pin you to the ground, robbing you of any physical leverage, and begin cuffing you again, as you have broken the original cuffs.
Now, It is a thing, and the base is not against that idea. Especially once I feel the position that I can't physically move, it would start lashing out, wouldn't it? Try to scare off these people to get them out of the way.
At this point, they're more than likely going to continue acting on their impulse at this point is to stop you, so Bestial wouldn't be very useful here.
Nope.
As far as, because if they're acting on physical impulse, as far as their impulse is concerned, they're winning.
Yep.
So they would fight harder or be more violent.
It could try to intimidate them, but I don't know how intimidating it would be in this position. If not, obviously the beast would keep thrashing out. I'd not just bringing up options of what the beast would do.
Roll me one more strength brawl to try and break out of that grapple.
Alright. 4 blood. Oh, there we go.
Okay. This time you do manage to break out of that grapple. With your fangs, they literally penetrate past their armor and just rip through their torso. And you begin to run away. Roll me strength plus athletics to run away. Actually, are you still trying to get into the house?
Yeah, I'm trying to get into the house. I'm just
quickly continue strength brawl then.
Yeah, so I continuously just avoid sun. Closest place to avoid sun because they were putting me to the car is straight line back to the house.
Okay, all right. You have taken a lethal damage at this point.
Right.
From the sunlight. That'll be your lethal damage for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, they get another blood from the other guy I bit into.
Yes.
Still at 4. Which actually should be 9, not 10. But 5 anyways.
You kill him. You rip open their chest. They're gonna try and keep you down. Roll me strength plus brawl again.
Or not dice. There we go.
The officers that aren't around you start beating you with batons relentlessly. And they manage to hold you down and inflict the baton is, I think a baton is +1 or +0. It is the equivalent of +1, yes. So they inflict 5 bashing to you, just repeatedly swarming you. Some trying to keep you down, the others just smashing you at your head in as you're in a leveraged position. Because you're spending for physical intensity. You didn't activate...
no resilience on this, so I take the 5.
It is no small effort on their part. Multiple men are beating you in areas where you are fragile, where hitting you could be potentially lethal, such as in the head, in the neck, along your back.
Because my health right now is 13. No, it's 12. Because resilience is only up by 1. So. No, it's 13. Yeah, because I'm in frenzy. Get the extra stamina. Yeah.
Extra. Yeah, that's part of your coil, I think.
No, that's just going in the frenzy increases all your physical stats by your blood potency.
Doesn't give you health.
Oh, it does not give you health, it just raises your stamina.
That's what the coil does, yeah. It actually explicitly says that increasing stamina doesn't give you health.
Okay, no.
Not in this sense, anyway.
No, then it is 12. No, that's level 5. Level 5, I can, as long as I'm frenzy, I basically can't get
No,
taken
level
down.
4 is if you frenzy, you add your blood potency to your defense, health, and speed.
Okay, yeah, I don't have that power.
So,
So no, my health is 12.
they hit you hard and repeatedly and a lot. Roll again.
Alrighty. Now I'm saying this in case we get out. That way it's heard. Marcus, at this point, since there's already so many bodies, what we probably should do is keep the inspector alive and see if we can get him to forget this or make it this as an animal attack.
Yeah,
killing
sure.
all of
It
them,
was your pet tiger. Got it.
just killing all of them would make it worse, but at least we can make like some type of weird ass animal attack. Maybe get some Steve, but most likely not.
Okay.
The mighty twos.
I'm afraid not. They deal another 2 bashing to you. But roll again. Every roll will now take place over the course of a minute. At this point, Marcus, you have successfully dominated the traumatized detective. He is mesmerized. His panic has come to a stop. He begins to leave. He begins to run towards the entrance and begins fleeing. But if you wish to continue to dominate him, it is at a pace you can keep up with. He's not trying to get away from you, he's just leaving the area, as you dominated him to do.
Question SC, since Beast is getting wailed on, would it consider that maybe it should spend its blood for resilience instead of physical intensity?
They would, at this point, it would start spending for resilience instead of physical intensity. You can choose this, by the way. I'm letting you roleplay this frenzy out.
Okay. Alright, and I'll be rolling.
Oh.
Hey, one more.
Okay, when it's my turn, there is something I want to tell to him, to the detective.
Okay. What do you want to tell him as, Julian, you take another 2 bashing?
They're not spending resilience, I don't take any.
Mm-hmm. You look like you're taking a lot of damage, but you don't. Your body doesn't care. Your beast doesn't care. Marcus.
Yeah, in something that other people would call pantomime, but sadly it isn't a laughing matter. Marcus says, pointing to Julian, he is on drugs. Hoping that that idea lodges itself into his psyche. Not as authoritative as more like, oh my god, he is on drugs. Yeah, trying to how should I say? Yeah.
Roll me to dominate again. You can manipulate people's memories in small ways, and this is something you can do to him. You can manipulate his memory to get him to believe that.
Okay, I'll re-roll, because it's better than the guy thinking, oh my god, that guy has turned into Wolverine minus the claws. Okay.
It's still looks
rolling
bad on a
again.
report. Well, the guy might have been on some bath salts, but he did kill 4 people.
For the masquerade, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Convince him it's an animal attack. There's a random bear out of nowhere.
I've got the feeling that would be harder for his mind to rationalize. Sorry.
Go ahead, Marcus, make the roll.
1 success.
That is enough.
If only I was a werewolf.
Thank goodness.
Deliria would be so great right now. They would have already left.
I wish this happened after the... It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. A success is a success.
Yeah, he's suffering pretty significant dice penalties right now due to his lack of composure. And the fact that you've already mesmerized him once, so he really can't resist at all. At this point, Julian, they've managed to get a hold of Julian enough that they're beginning to drag him into the police van while trying to subdue him. Julian, make me a strength plus brawl roll again.
Alrighty.
No. With no less than 5 officers on you, their strength is too much for the beast alone. Without the strength or vigor, you cannot shake them off. As they drag you into the van. They haven't done any damage to you this round. Would you like to make me one last roll, please?
I guess.
As they're going to try and shut the van on you before you can exit.
Might as well use his intensity for this now.
It will.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. You not only shatter their grip, I mean, that's enough to actually kill one of them.
Yes, I'm not always the first character to die. That's been you.
No, you rip one's, again, you rip for another. Three dead. And you leap out of the vehicle with strength that Julian would have never believed he possessed. And you begin to bound to the nearest dark spot, or, well, wherever Julian thinks he should be going. Where does your beast think he should be going, Julian?
Probably since nobody's in there, he'd be running and try to run into the guest house. Because
Okay.
There's no people there.
You begin to beeline for the guest house. You've shaken off the police. Then some of them are knocked into the van. One dies. You do manage to make it to the guest house. I will give you that. That's within your capacity to move, particularly in frenzy. Particularly since you can jump great distances. Less useful when not riding the wave, but still. So, make me another check as they're going to attack you again. But once you make it, outside of the sunlight, you will come out of frenzy.
Did I gain more blood for killing more people?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Every attack, every time you deal damage, you get a blood point back. You managed to fend one off. Injure him. They don't die, but they're left heavily wounded.
Maimed. Dying eventually.
The wounds you inflict are salvageable on this person, but you only really begin to understand that when you come out of frenzy. It's the first thing you see. First thing Julian sees are about 4 or 5 cops attempting to drag you to the floor.
There is a mixture of frustration, rage, and absolute sadness and despair as he sees what he's done. He can smell the blood around this area, but he knows he can't go with them.
What are you going to do? You're going to keep fighting. Over the course of several minutes, you've managed to kill, well, including the one guy, 4 of them, and injure another.
But this would be impressive if these guys weren't just doing their job.
They came here to raid a house, not to fight a monster.
No.
Even then, you can feel the wounds they've inflicted on you. They are significant.
Julian would be trying to stay in the house and seeing these guys coming after him and not wanting to cause any more deaths. And hopefully with enough visceral devastation they see, that it's going to lash out. Just try to get these guys to run, to leave. Even though
you can't lash out at all of them, not all at once.
Oh, I can't. But other than that, I could try to ride the wave, spend 1 before my last willpower, and fend these guys off, because riding the wave is a reflexive action for me, so I can do something else at the same time. So I guess that's what I'll be doing. I'll be riding the wave and committing to the dodge action, basically just to fend these guys off.
The beast will.
And the goal is instead fend off, scare off.
At this point, it looks to Julian as if the only way he'll be able to fend them off is by simply killing them all.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus, you know that even if he does.
Yeah, my life is kind of over right now.
Yeah, at this point, the damage is done.
More police officers will be on the way. You saw that panic button. You saw the alarm go off.
Yep.
It was a ringing. It was a kind of.
I'm waiting for my round.
Well,
I know what I'm doing.
What are you going to do if this detective while this happens?
As the guy is still mesmerized, command him, run for your life, and point out of the door.
A very easy command to follow. And at this point, he's more or less under your control, and I'm not going to make you roll it. He's not in a mental state to resist.
Yeah, and I think deep down, he wants to run away. I'm just encouraging him.
He did try and run away.
Yeah, sorry, had to do something before that. But yes, so I assume he's running helter-pelter out of the building.
Well, you told him to leave the area before, so this actually takes place outside, funnily enough. Fortunately, you haven't really been in the sun that long at all. You will take a single lethal damage over the course of this scene. But you've spent very little of it outside.
Yeah.
He will run away, and he just begins to run the opposite direction of Julian and the other police.
Good.
Running
Good.
and running and running until you no longer see him.
Yep. Good. Anything left? Any actions left, or
you will need to deal with?
With the remaining policemen,
It's not just a policeman at this point. There haven't been many people down this street, but there have been a couple of people that walk by and are, well, don't really know how to react other than to just back the fuck away from this whole situation. Like,
yeah.
This has happened over the course of a minute, so...
okay.
You can deal with the witnesses. In fact, they don't have the capacity to resist at all.
Oh.
You can dominate them, but that will be much of your time being spent this scene. Dealing with what remains of these witnesses, trying to convince them through dominate or other means that this is not the supernatural occurrence that it appears to be.
But that it is. At least that's what I'm trying to angle for, that this Mr. Goodman is obviously under drugs, like crocodile or some shit.
Literally two people who just happened to be walking by as this confrontation happened over the past minute. They were literally walking their dog.
Okay. Yes. I'll try come running and yeah. Yes. Try to convince them that the person who has done this horrible thing is on drugs, and then after that that they should run. Bring yourself to safety.
Simple enough to do with dominate.
Yep.
The two eyewitnesses to this scene are dealt with. Fortunately, the scene hadn't gathered a crowd. Most people know better than to approach a police van with armoured police officers. There's really only two people there, by coincidence, but they're dealt with. Julian, strength roll. You're gonna kill the rest of them.
No.
It's self-defense.
Well, literally not. But...
I spend the willpower to ride the wave.
Okay.
You can do it. If not, I'll come with a crow's beak and finish them off and share the blame.
And I was going to ride the wave, and I was going to try to dodge these guys.
Okay. Well, roll your dex plus athletics.
Yep, ×2.
×2. Actually, the lure of your dex or wits plus athletics ×2.
Yep. They're the same, so.
They got 4 successes to hit you. There's still a fair number of them.
Actually, nope. That's only 6 dice, because I don't have that extra wits yet.
Oh, nope.
I do have blood for physical intensity, so might as well use it. What the hell? Getting shifted all over the place.
They do hit you pretty hard. Another 3 bashing.
Alrighty. That's almost lethal. That's
It is less the manner of their weapons and just the constant
getting beat off.
persistence. Even your body can only take so much punishment before it begins to fail. Any regular person would be dead, long dead at this point.
And by the wave again.
And I think if you manage to ride the wave, I'll be happy to say that you do with the rest of them.
Just need to get 2 more. But remember what happened last time. Oh yeah, I get it.
Make me one last strength roll check.
Alright.
See how badly you managed to hurt them.
Spending the blood on this.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, -1, so that's 7. Actually, -2 because of the bludgeoning damage by now.
If you're in frenzy, you don't take wound penalties.
Oh yeah, so can't forget that. might as well should be biting, right? Go down on the ship, get that extra die. Good.
Mm-hmm. The wounded one you finish off. Leaving not many left. From this point on, it becomes a simple matter as your beast simply kills the other, and, well, you wanted to fend them off, but your beast interprets that one way. He kills the last. Over half a dozen cops dead. Marcus, you are witness to Julian making the final blow, finishing off the last police officer like a wounded animal as he begs for his life.
Since this has basically turned into a war zone, Marcus has basically just retreated into a certain part of his mind, that part that he has visited a few times when intensive combat, when the niceties of human nature need to be put aside to be effective. I'm more than happy to do a humanity roll on that Marcus is just basically trying to push the horror that is in front of him to the back of his mind.
This is a grotesque scene. Granted, you played no part in it. You may have actually saved somebody's life. And because of that, I'll make it a humanity 6 check.
Gotcha. But yes, at this point he's being a bit callous. I'm fully aware of that, so...
3 dice,
okay,
plus
so
a touchstone bonus.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Julian, this is... This is an impassioned killing. This is a humanity-free check. 2 dice, plus whatever touchstones you may have.
I got the 1.
Okay, this is plus 2 dice, so 4 dice.
And there's no willpower on this roll. It'd be my last anyways.
You can't spend willpower for breaking point checks.
No, you cannot.
Sorry, what do I have to roll again, since it's a Humanity 6 thing?
3 dice plus another 3
Touchstone.
dice, because you have multiple touchstones.
Yeah, thank you.
Let the dice be with me. Oh.
The
2
scene speaks for-
successes. Oh, sorry.
Julian, the scene speaks for itself. Marcus,
Yeah, 2 successes with a 10.
you rationalize this by thinking to yourself, at least someone got out alive.
Yeah.
Julian still in the frenzy, but in control. Again, roars and what he did, and how this will be nearly impossible to fix. At this point, Julian Goodman is no more. And he did a lot to try to be what he is today. His risk of his company being absolutely taken over by his sister now, if not somebody just trying to finish her off. He has potentially broken the masquerade. If not only that, he killed a lot of people that didn't deserve to die this day. Whoever did this is going to pay. And whoever...
Those fuckers will pay. They knew exactly what they were gonna do here. They probably hoped that they'd be able to kill you, but we're tougher than that. Okay, here's the plan. Grab whatever useful stuff you can, throw it in a sports bag. I'll be grabbing mine. I'll be darting to the van. I'll be driving close to the building so that you can get into the windowless part of it, and I'll try to get us out of here. Maybe Wandsworth. There are some revenants there. Maybe we can hide out there for a bit. Regroup. Yeah, that's the idea. Okay. Will Julian say anything to that?
He just nods.
Good. Marcus just nods. You stay here. I'll drive with the van as close to the door as possible. And then from there, open, jump in, close. You'll be light safe there. And I would say with that, Marcus grabs the biggest trench coat that might be hanging somewhere, put that over his head, and rush over to the van. I know he will still be taking damage, but I'm trying to reduce it.
Yep, you'll take another lethal, but if you're going to be driving a van, you may very well take more. Depends on how long you drive for. You can drive up to the guest house and get Julian without him touching sunlight, at least enough not to trigger his beast, because he's immediately entering another dark space.
Mm-hmm.
As you reverse up to the guest house, you begin to hear sirens. A lot of sirens from all directions.
Okay. Fuck. Is there any... change of plans. Have I seen something that looks part of the sewer system? You know, where in a panic I could lift the top, have Julian go in and close it behind me and use the subterranean paths to stay out of sight.
Julian would have to enter the sunlight to make the jump.
I could cover him as he does that and take another lethal before closing.
How do you intend to cover him? If you were to get out the back of the van, he'd have to jump into the manhole cover. There would be no way for you to fully cover him from the sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
So you would need another means to cover him. You could just drive away.
Is there still enough? Does it put it that way? Is there still enough time that we could get away, at least for a bit?
If you want to, you need to make that call now.
I'll do it. Yeah. Once Julian is in, Marcus will be driving away, opposite direction of the sirens. And yes,
they're coming in from every direction, so you're not sure. That panic button probably sent out an emergency to every police officer within the borough at least.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, every police officer within the span of a few minutes would be responding to it. This would be an extremely high priority call. This is
Mm-hmm.
It would be a police's life being in immediate danger. So it is not something the police take.
Is there any
lightly.
bigger body of water around?
Other than the Thames?
Is the Thames deep enough that if you're in the middle of it, you are protected from the sun?
No, you have to go pretty deep so that the sun rays do not reach beneath the water. It's actually, you have to be like several hundred meters deep or something. It's called the Twilight Zone.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And the Thames water, despite not exactly being the cleanest supply of water in the world, is actually, in the modern day, surprisingly unpolluted. In contrast to what one would normally consider.
Can I see? Oh, okay. Fuck it. The only way I see it is commanding Julian to get into the thing, get into the sewers, whether it hurts him a bit more or not. That frankly seems the only way that we are getting out of the sun, and also get possibilities of just getting away.
So you getting into the van and driving away, or heading to an immediate manhole cover, or
heading to the next manhole cover, and then down the sewers, and if we get partially lost, fuck it. When we meet a Nosferatu, we'll barter our way to safety, but we have to get away. Underground we go.
Okay, so you're going to drive away from the location and then get into a sewer grate.
Correct.
Okay. Julian, I assume you get into the van.
Yes.
Marcus, you begin to drive away. For how long do you drive? You will see police cars pass you within a minute of you leaving the area.
Mm-hmm.
30 seconds to be more exact.
Are they stopping us?
No.
They are not. Okay.
I don't know if they'll go back over this footage later and look at the van. It might be burnt, it might not be.
fair enough. I would say dries for a whole minute.
A whole minute, okay.
Keeping an eye out for any manhole cover that he could use.
It is. You are in the inner city of London, the middle of the day. You, Julian, you guys originally were in a residential area, not too busy. However, as you drive around, you do notice there are a lot of people about. So, the immediate issue is getting to the sewer grate at all, finding one, getting into one. That will require Julian to risk the sunlight again.
Maybe that's no glory.
The issue is not being seen by anyone. And the third issue is that an issue specific to Julian. The beast is getting tired.
Yeah.
So you can still remain up. However, if you choose to, you will gain the lethargic condition.
It is get into a hole, pass out, hope nothing kills me, wake up, cry, get vengeance, and then seek forgiveness.
Mm-hmm. Any place. Oh no, of course that stuff has got CCTV footage as well. Oh, everything is CCTV.
They'll be taking and not only that, Julian had security cameras at his house.
Oh, fuck's sake.
But one night at a time, or in this case, day. So.
That's what I get for building a coterie. Anyway.
First point of contention.
Yes. Well, no, not really. The sun is the point of contention.
True. So.
Okay, how much lethal? 1, 2, 3 now?
If I may offer some friendly ST advice now that you are out of the main engagement. It may just be safer to drive the van as far away out of the area as possible and then simply let Julian rest in it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Going underground is a way to remain silent, but so is remaining mobile, and they're not exactly going to go looking for him in a van, at least not within the next few hours.
Yeah, good point. That's actually a really good point.
Probably be at least a day or several before they put up a notice, if at all, if they connect the dots. It was if you were caught on security cameras or not, you may have been. Julian did have cameras around his haven. Wouldn't be out of possibility. In fact, it would probably be likely that at least one was set up near the guest house. But one night at a time, so.
Yeah, even if I would have put the balaclava on, that wouldn't have helped, because at some point they would have arrived to the house without, when everything was okay. So that's nothing we can change at the moment. Yeah. Doing that and getting also in the back of the van that is light proof, and my guy's awake, so I would say of course most kindred will be sleeping right now. Do I know of any ghouls of the Order Dracul? You know, from Order Dracul headquarters that I could contact?
Yes.
Okay, making an executive telephone call.
You reach into your pocket, you take out your phone. I assume you get into the back of the phone to make this phone call so that you're not risking yourself to sunlight.
Correct.
It's easy enough for Julian to at least remain on one side of the doors, or at least on the side of the one closed door, so that he's not at risk.
Yeah, just a little bit, squeeze myself in close.
And a number, you put in a number and you begin to make the call. You have reached the number of Delphine Paquette. How may I help you?
Hello, it's me, Marcus Irons. We're in deep shit.
Excuse me?
Is Marcus Irons of the Order Dracul?
Yes, sir. How may I help you?
Yes. Could you organize a van or maybe some other car that has got a section that is light-proof? Myself and Mr. Goodman are currently stuck. There was an altercation with the police. I managed to get him away from the scene of the action, but we'll have to change cars because, yeah, there might be footage. We have to try and get ourselves somewhere safe, and then also try and figure out how much damage has happened and how we can keep the rest of the masquerade halfway going. This is very urgent.
There's a brief silence over the liners. The woman on the other side processes what you have said. So you require a light-proof vehicle?
Correct. Here are our current coordinates. He gives the coordinates through, street, number. In the worst case, he uses Google Maps to get the exact pinpoint of where he is.
I will send these details over to the appropriate contacts. We'll see what we can done for you, or can be done for you.
Thank you very much.
Please stand by for a few minutes.
Will do.
She puts you on hold. 5 to 10 minutes pass. Mr. Irons, a light-proof vehicle is on its way to your location. It should be there within 10 to 15 minutes. Please hold until then.
Will do. Thank you.
Excellent. Is there anything else I can do for you today, Mr. Irons?
Okay. Okay, just to give you the quick lowdown. The residence of Mr. Goodman, there was an altercation with the police. SWAT team. They got dealt with. They're dead. Because, well, they dragged him out in the light, and you can guess the rest. As soon as I've got the vehicle, I'll try my best to get the number plates off the other vehicle, and I'm considering if I should try and have the vehicle burned, or if I should just leave it there without number plates. Yeah, we'll figure out the rest when we're back at Ordo Dracul headquarters. As far as I've been able to see, they didn't really take notice of me. However, there is one thing. At following address, and he gives Julian's address, there is a CCTV camera system. If someone could try to scramble it, get rid of it, destroy it, burn it, whatever, that'd be great, because then I can at least still act without being a wanted man, and try and straighten up this mess. Sorry, I'm a bit through the wind. It was a slaughter.
The appropriate authorities will be contacted, Mr. Irons.
I'll be happy to give a fuller and cleaner report once we're at Order Dracul headquarters. I'll be able to gather myself by then.
Fallon, I shall inform Lady Paquette once she is awake, and we will see to, and I'm sure she will see to resolving this matter with the utmost elegance. But if that is all, Mr. Irons, I shall wish you a pleasant day. And
that is all. Evening. Have a nice one. And he just switches the phone off. Out of just sheer paranoia, takes the battery out of the phone and just slumps to the side, and just takes calming breaths, trying to keep himself calm. He has to keep his shit together if to get the two of them safely to Order Dracul headquarters, and he'll wait.
And I think as you wait, that's where we can end the scene. Thank you. Players for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.